Dante Moretti found her wedged between crates of canned tomatoes and sacks of flour, knees pulled to her chest, eyes wild with terror. She wore a stained waitress uniform from a diner he didn't recognize, and when their eyes met, she whispered 5 words that would dismantle everything he thought he knew about the neighborhood he controlled. Please don't send me back. 48 hours earlier, Dante's restaurant, Lucia's, occupied a corner in Little Italy that had belonged to his family for 3 generations. The dining room upstairs served the city's elite, politicians, judges, businessmen who appreciated discretion with their ossobuco. The basement served a different purpose. Meetings where handshakes meant more than contracts, where disputes were settled with words backed by unspoken threats. He'd arrived at 6 a.m., earlier than usual, because sleep had become unreliable lately. At 32, Dante commanded respect through reputation rather than demonstration. People knew what he was capable of, which meant he rarely had to prove it. He preferred it that way. Violence was a tool, not a philosophy. The kitchen's walk-in cooler had been making noise. Dante pulled on his coat and went to investigate, leaving his driver, Luca, smoking by the back entrance. The cooler's compressor was fine, but something felt wrong. Dante had survived 2 decades in this life by trusting his instincts. That's when he heard it, a muffled cough from the dry storage room. The storage room was supposed to be empty until the morning delivery. Dante moved silently, hand instinctively going to the gun at his back. He eased the door open. She was small, maybe 5'3", curled impossibly tight in the narrow space between shelving units. Her dark hair was matted, her waitress uniform torn at the shoulder. Most striking were her eyes, not afraid of him specifically, but afraid of everything, the kind of fear that had soaked into bone. "Please don't send me back," she said again, and then she started crying, harsh sobs that shook her entire frame. Dante lowered his hand from his weapon. "Who were you running from?" She shook her head, pressing herself further into the corner. "You'll call him. Everyone calls him. He has friends everywhere. He always finds me. Look at me." Dante kept his voice level, non-threatening. She obeyed, tears streaming down her face. "I don't know who he is, which means he's not my friend. Now come out of there before you hurt yourself." She hesitated, then slowly unfolded herself. Dante saw the limp immediately, the way she favored her left leg. When she stood in the doorway's light, he noticed the rest. Yellowing bruises on her arms, a fresh cut above her eyebrow, fingernail marks on her neck. "When did you eat last?" The question seemed to confuse her. Yesterday morning." "Maybe. Come upstairs." "I can't. If anyone sees me." "No one's here but my driver, and he doesn't see anything I don't want him to see." Dante turned toward the stairs. After a moment, he heard her limping footsteps following. In the kitchen, Dante moved with practiced efficiency. Espresso first, then he started eggs and bread. The woman sat at the prep table, watching him with the wariness of someone expecting the other shoe to drop. "I'm Dante. This is my restaurant. You want to tell me your name?" "Anna." She said it like she wasn't sure it was still hers. "Okay, Anna. You broke into my restaurant to hide. I'm guessing you have a reason." She stared at the table. "I didn't mean to break in. The back door was open for deliveries yesterday morning. I just needed somewhere to sleep. I thought I'd leave before anyone came, but then it got dark and I heard voices and I was afraid to move. The voices you heard were my Tuesday night card game. Every week, same time." Dante slid a plate in front of her, scrambled eggs, toasted bread, prosciutto. "Eat." Anna looked at the food like it might vanish. She picked up the fork with shaking hands and took a bite. Then another. Then she was eating like someone who'd forgotten what food tasted like. Dante drank his espresso and waited. He'd learned patience young. His father used to say that silence made men reveal what questions never would. When Anna finally slowed down, he spoke quietly. "Who did that to you?" She set down her fork. "My boyfriend. Ex-boyfriend. Travis Webb." The name meant nothing to Dante, but the way she said it, like the syllables themselves could summon demons, told him everything he needed to know about what this Travis had done. "How long?" 2 years. I tried leaving 4 times. He always finds me. He's a cop." There it was. Dante's expression didn't change, but inside, something cold and familiar settled into place. A cop who beat women, protected by the same system that was supposed to protect her. No wonder she'd been hiding in a storage room instead of a police station. "Where were you staying before here?" "The YMCA on 14th. But he found me yesterday. I saw his car outside. I ran. Anna's voice dropped to a whisper. I don't have anywhere left to go. Everyone I know, he's already talked to them, told them I'm crazy, that I'm lying. My family won't help anymore. They think I'm the problem. Dante refilled her espresso cup, thinking, a civilian woman, brutalized by her cop boyfriend, failed by everyone who should have helped her. Society would tell him she wasn't his responsibility. Society would be wrong. You can't stay in my storage room, Dante said. Anna's face fell, resignation settling over her like a familiar coat. But I own the apartment building next door. Third floor's empty. You'll stay there. Anna's head snapped up. I can't pay rent. I have $40 in the clothes I'm wearing. Did I ask for rent? But I can't just. Why would you? She struggled to find words for a kindness she'd stopped expecting. You don't even know me. Dante met her eyes. I know enough. I know you're bleeding from a cut that needs cleaning. I know you've been limping on that leg for at least a day. I know some bastard cop thinks he owns you. That's all I need to know. Travis will come looking. When he can't find me at the shelters, the hotels, he'll expand his search. If he finds out you helped me, then he'll learn something new about consequences. Dante's tone carried the weight of absolute certainty. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. First, medical attention. Then we talk about next steps. He pulled out his phone and made a call. Rosa? I need you at the restaurant. Medical supplies, antibiotics if you have them, and bring clothes. Women's size. He glanced at Anna questioningly. Small, she whispered. Small. 30 minutes. Rosa arrived in 25. She was 60, a former nurse who'd worked for Dante's family since he was a child, and she asked no questions while examining Anna in the restaurant's office. Dante waited outside, listening to Rosa's gentle murmuring and his occasional sharp intake of breath. When Rosa emerged, her expression was grim. 2 cracked ribs, extensive bruising, signs of old fractures that healed wrong. The cut on her head needs stitches, but I can do it here. The leg. She has a deep tissue injury, needs to stay off it for at least a week. Rosa paused. Dante, whoever did this has been doing it for a long time. I know. Can you stay with her today? Keep her company while I handle some things. Rosa nodded. Of course. Dante found Luca outside, made some calls. By noon, he had a file on Travis Webb, 29, patrol officer for 5 years, 2 internal complaints for excessive force, both dismissed. Dated Anna Martinez for 2 years. Before Anna, there'd been another girlfriend, Jessica Chun, who'd filed a restraining order that mysteriously disappeared from the system. The pattern was clear and sickening. At 2 p.m., Dante visited the apartment building next door. He'd kept the third-floor unit furnished, but empty. Sometimes people needed to disappear quickly, and having safe houses ready was practical. He inspected everything. Cleaned sheets, stocked kitchen, working locks. Then he added new deadbolts, chain locks, and had Luca install a security camera in the hallway. He returned to the restaurant at 4. Anna was sleeping on the office couch, Rosa reading beside her. She tried to leave 3 times, Rosa whispered. Kept saying she didn't want to burden you. I told her she wasn't going anywhere on that leg. Dante looked at the sleeping woman. Even unconscious, she seemed braced for attack. When she wakes up, take her to the apartment. Show her everything works. Make sure she eats dinner. Tell her I'll check in tomorrow. You're not going to talk to her first? She needs rest, not more stress. Dante picked up his coat. I have something to take care of. Finding Travis Webb was easy. Dante knew which bars cops frequented, which ones tolerated their particular brand of arrogance. He found Webb at Murphy's on 5th Street, loud talking with 3 other officers about a domestic call they'd responded to that morning. Woman was clearly lying, Webb said, beer in hand. Crying about her boyfriend, but no marks on her. They always lie. His friends laughed. Dante ordered a whiskey at the bar and listened, memorizing faces, names, the casual cruelty of men who'd forgotten they were supposed to protect people. Webb left at 7:30, walking to his car with the swagger of someone who'd never faced real consequences. Dante followed at a distance. In the parking garage, dimly lit and empty, he made his approach. Officer Webb. Travis turned, hand automatically going to his hip. He was tall, muscular, with the kind of face people called handsome until you saw what lived behind his eyes. Who's asking? Someone who's going to give you one warning. Dante kept his distance, non-threatening but unmovable. Stop looking for Anna Martinez. Forget her name, Forget her face. Forget she ever existed. Webb's expression shifted from confusion to anger to something uglier. That crazy bitch. She came running to you? Probably spread her legs. Made up some sob story. Dante moved. Not to hit. That would come later if necessary, but close enough that Webb could see exactly what kind of mistake he was making. I'd be very careful about your next words. Webb recognized danger when it was standing 6 inches away. His hand drifted toward his service weapon. You really want to pull a gun on me? Dante's voice was conversational, almost friendly. You think that ends well for you? I don't know who you think you are. I'm the man telling you that Ana Martinez is under my protection now. You go near her. You call her. You even think about her too hard. And you'll learn things about pain you didn't teach in the academy. Webb tried to laugh it off. You threatening a police officer? That's a felony, friend. I'm not your friend. And I'm not threatening. I'm promising. Something in Dante's absolute calm punctured Webb's bravado. He'd spent years controlling women through fear, but he'd never encountered someone who spoke the language of real violence, the kind that didn't need to be loud. She's my girlfriend, Webb said, but his voice had lost its edge. I have a right. You have nothing. You gave up rights when you put your hands on her. Dante stepped back, giving space. This is the only conversation we're having. I won't warn you again. He walked away, leaving Webb standing in the garage with his impotent rage and dawning understanding that the world had just shifted beneath his feet. Over the next week, Dante kept his distance from Ana, receiving updates through Rosa and Luca. She was healing physically, eating regularly, sleeping better, the limp fading. But Rosa reported that Ana jumped at loud noises, checked locks obsessively, and seemed perpetually braced for Travis to kick down the door. On the 8th day, Dante visited the apartment. Ana answered wearing the clothes Rosa had brought, looking healthier but still carrying that watchful tension. I wanted to check how you're settling in, Dante said from the doorway. Come in, please. Ana stepped back. The apartment was spotlessly clean, organized with the precision of someone trying to control whatever small things they could. I've been meaning to thank you properly. For everything. I still don't understand why. You needed help. I could provide it. That's the whole story. Ana shook her head. That's not the whole story. Rosa told me who you are. What you do. Everyone knows the Moretti family. And I know men like you don't just help random women without wanting something in return. Dante had expected this conversation. You're right. I do want something. Ana's shoulders tensed, old fear flickering across her face. I want you to stop expecting the worst from everyone, Dante continued. I want you to heal, get strong, figure out what kind of life you want next. That's what I want in return. That's it. That's it. Ana sank into a chair, something breaking loose in her chest. He came to the restaurant. Travis. Yesterday morning. Rosa told me. He was asking questions about me. I know. Lucas sent him away. He won't stop. You don't know him like I do. Then help me know him. Dante sat across from her. Tell me everything. Every time he hit you. Every threat he made. Every cop friend who looked the other way. Tell me so I know exactly what I'm dealing with. Ana talked for 2 hours. Dante listened without interruption, noting names, dates, patterns. By the time she finished, he had a complete picture of Travis Webb's campaign of terror, and more importantly, all the cracks in his armor. The following Monday, Dante made calls. He built his influence carefully over the years, knowing that power wasn't just about muscle. It was about information, leverage, and knowing which dominoes to tip. He reached out to an FBI contact who'd been investigating police corruption, sent him Ana's testimony, medical records from Rosa's examination, screenshots of threatening texts Ana had saved. He contacted a defense attorney he'd helped years ago, who happened to be building a case against several officers in Webb's precinct. Gave her Jessica Chen's name, Webb's previous victim, and resources to find her, offer her protection if she'd testify. He spoke with the police commissioner's wife, who ran a domestic violence nonprofit and had been looking for a high-profile case to force department reforms. Dante moved like water finding cracks in stone, patient and relentless. 3 weeks later, Travis Webb was suspended pending investigation. 2 weeks after that, he was arrested, not just for what he'd done to Ana, but for falsifying police reports, intimidating witnesses, and assault charges from Jessica Chun, who'd found courage in numbers. Dante made sure Ana had a lawyer present when she gave her official statement. Made sure she had security when Webb's friends tried intimidation. Made sure she was never alone until Webb was being processed into the same system he'd once represented. When it was over, Anna came to the restaurant. Dante was in the kitchen, prepping for dinner service. "They're charging him," she said. "The DA said the evidence is overwhelming. He's looking at real prison time." "Good. Because of you. All of it. Finding Jessica, the FBI investigation, everything. Rosa told me you orchestrated it." Dante shrugged. "I made some calls. People made their own choices." Anna moved closer, and Dante saw something new in her eyes. Not fear, not desperation, but determined clarity. "I want to work." "You don't need to." "I know I don't need to. I want to. I was a paralegal before Travis. I'm good at research, organization, documentation. Rosa said you have businesses, properties, things that need managing. Let me help." Dante studied her. "This life, my life, it's complicated. Not always legal. You understand that. I understand you saved me when everyone else said I was the problem. I understand you gave me safety when the people who were supposed to protect me protected my abuser instead. I understand that sometimes the good people are the most dangerous ones." And I met his eyes. "I'm not naive anymore. I know the world isn't fair, but I also know you are. In your way." Dante considered. His operations needed someone detail-oriented, discreet, and loyal. Someone who understood that the law wasn't always just. "Okay, start Monday. Work with my accountant first, learn the filing systems. We'll see where you fit." Anna's smile was genuine, the first real one he'd seen from her. "Thank you, Dante, for everything." After she left, Luco appeared with the evening's reports. Webb's lawyer tried calling. "Wants to negotiate Anna's testimony. Tell him to negotiate with the DA. We're done with Travis Webb." 6 months passed. Anna thrived, bringing organization to Dante's scattered business operations, asking smart questions, earning trust. She'd put on weight, cut her hair, started dressing like someone who'd remembered she deserved to take up space. She still lived in the apartment upstairs, but now it felt like choice rather than necessity. She had money, options, and freedom, but she stayed. One evening, after the restaurant closed, she found Dante reviewing accounts in his office. "I have something for you," Anna said, handing him a folder. "I tracked down 3 other women Webb dated before me. I found them through social media, court records. They all have similar stories, and they're all willing to testify now." Dante scanned the documents, meticulous, thorough, exactly what prosecutors needed to ensure Webb never saw freedom again. "This is excellent work. I learned from the best." Anna paused. "I also enrolled in night classes. Paralegal to law degree. I figure if I'm going to spend my life fighting bastards like Travis, I should have the credentials to do it officially." Dante felt something unexpected. Pride, maybe, or hope. "You'll make a terrifying lawyer." "That's the plan." She turned to leave, then stopped. "You know, everyone warned me about you. Said you were dangerous, that I should be afraid. They were half right. You were dangerous, but never to people like me. Only to people like Travis." After she'd gone, Dante sat in his office, city lights stretching endlessly outside his window. Society would always call him a monster, and perhaps they weren't entirely wrong. But monsters came in many forms. Some wore badges and suits, hiding their violence behind legitimacy. Others wore their darkness openly, using it to protect those everyone else abandoned. Dante Moretti had stopped apologizing for which kind he chose to be years ago, and he'd never lost sleep over it since.